Good morning, everyone. Please excuse my croaky voice. I have a bit of a cold. If I haven't met you before, I've met loads and loads of members this year during my presidential year. My name is Catherine McKenna, and I have the absolute honour of being your president this year. It really is a pleasure to be here with you today and be back in beautiful Edinburgh, one of my favourite cities. And it's a real privilege to stand alongside UNISON's healthcare members, people who day in and day out do the work that truly matters. You deliver life-saving services, you care for our loved ones at their most vulnerable, and you defend our NHS, not just as a service, but as a principle. Conference, on behalf of the UNISON's presidential team and the wider NEC, I want to pay tribute to your Health Service Group executive and to the officers who work alongside them. Thank you for everything that you've delivered over the past 12 months, and in advance, thank you for the work that you know that still you have ahead. Conference hard work really doesn't sum it up, does it? How our members feel right now across health services, people are doing everything they possibly can to deliver for the public and care for our communities, often at a real cost to their own health and well-being. If we step back and look at the bigger picture, it can feel that there's been very little breathing space for a very long time. Since the global financial crisis of 2008, we have lived through a decade of punishing austerity, Brexit, and then the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, once again, the world feels increasingly unstable, with conflicts causing immense human suffering. First and foremost, our thoughts are with those directly affected by war. A 2-week ceasefire has been announced, very extremely fragile and unpredictable. And conference, even when it slips from the headlines, Palestine and the situation in Gaza and the West Bank remains a huge concern to UNISON. We're witnessing a humanitarian crisis on an extraordinary scale. Hospitals and clinics have been damaged or destroyed. Supplies of food, fuel and medicines have been severely restricted, and health services have been pushed far beyond breaking point. Tragically, a number of health workers have been murdered. Doctors, nurses, paramedics, and support staff, people whose sole purpose is to save lives, have lost their lives while caring for others. And conference for NHS workers here in the UK, you know what it means to keep caring under pressure and to put patients first when resources are stretched and to hold on to professional values in the hardest of circumstances. Conflict also brings knock-on effects closer to home. Rising fuel prices, higher energy bills and growing pressure on household finances. And all of this comes as many of our communities are already struggling. Over the past winter, food banks handed out a parcel every 10 seconds. 4.5 million children are growing up in poverty, and that's just not acceptable. From a health perspective, this is deeply worrying. We are seeing improvements in life expectancy slow, and in some cases going into reverse, particularly in our most deprived communities. Conference improvements in public health were once things we could take for granted. Today, they're not. And there's political forces actively working to undermine that equality, and they pose a real danger to our communities and to our public services. I know exactly what division looks like. I come from Northern Ireland, and I've seen the damage that conflict and division has caused to families, to communities, and to generations of working people. So conference, you're going to hear this repeatedly during this conference. We need to take a stand against Reform UK and the far right. Next month there are elections to Scottish Parliament and the Senate, alongside mayor and local government elections in England. These elections really matter, and they matter to UNISON. Reform UK now represents a threat well beyond its traditional base in England. The future of our NHS workers, women's rights and environment is at stake. And for our members who migrated here to work, their safety and security are on the line, and that's why we need to mobilise. We need to expose the real damage reform has already caused in councils and public services, and the division further success would bring. This party wants to rip up the Equality Act. It talks about creating an ICE-style deportation force that intends to attack employment rights, renters' rights and public sector pensions. Conference voters deserve to know how dangerous Farage and his failed Tory cronies really are. That is why UNISON has launched the Responding to Reform UK network, so members can get involved and play their part. And please do sign up via the UNISON website, and I hope our technical team have got it sorted, because this QR code is going to be on the screen behind me. Conference, the rise of the far right is deeply concerning. It's a challenge that we must take on across the whole of the Union and in our communities. But it's also one that we can win, because I have enormous faith in our Union and our communities. During my presidential year, I have seen what we can achieve when we stick together. And nothing shows that more clearly than the Employment Right Act. That change was not handed to us on a plate. We had to work really hard for it, and it's a genuine game changer. With action on sick pay, this is long zero-hour contracts, stronger protections against harassment, expanded parental and bereavement leave, and the first real turning back of anti-union laws in over a generation. But that's not the end of the journey. There's still loads more to do. And this shows what's possible when our union and our movement stand together, determined and ready to fight for the working people that we represent. So I just want to make one special mention to the health workers from my region in Northern Ireland. The lowest paid health workers, despite doing the same work, vital work under the same pressures as everyone else in this room. And that unfairness cannot continue, and we will not stop demanding parity, respect and proper pay. And I call on the UK Government to provide the funding necessary to deliver full pay parity for health workers in Northern Ireland, and this year and every year, so their pay and conditions properly reflect their work and the pressures they face. Thank you, Conference.